Hello, it's been a while, but I am back with another LEGO haul. In this case, it's a very large minifigure haul, so I hope you're ready. So there is everything. It was more than just one bag, yes. So I got a lot to go through here, so I can't just go through each individual figure, especially not with prices. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys a good overview, dump out each bag, show you guys everything. I'll talk a little bit about the haul while I'm doing it, and then I'll pick a few figures here and there, probably like between 5 and 10 figures that I can take to the end of the video and then show you guys on Bricklink their averages or how to find them or how I would have found them, kind of give you guys some information on that because I know that's really helpful. Some people don't know how to navigate Bricklink too well, and it is kind of tough. But I did get a ton of Star Wars figures. I think there was about 150 Star Wars figures or something like that in this haul. And if you're wondering, I think for this haul, I paid $700. Let's get into it. I know you guys want to see Star Wars, so we will start with a bag of Star Wars, and then I'll probably move to some other stuff and then back to Star Wars. But let's get into it. Let's see what we have in bag number 1. Let's start with this one, just because, oh yeah, I forgot I put, Leia there on the tauntaun in her bikini. So we'll start with that figure, and then this bag in general is droids. I had a chance to kind of go through and sort this, so we'll keep her in the back just for fun. But all of this stuff, we've got multiple R2-D2s in different versions. This one's even different than this one. I believe this is the Clone Wars variant because it's got that little notch right there. And then this is the regular variant just with the gray head. And then here is an R2, which I guess I would refer to as like the shaved R2. That print isn't worn. They only printed half of his head on this version for some reason. I really don't know why. It's kind of like the weirdest looking version, to be honest, because the silver should go as far down as it can. And then another highlight Astromech, I can't remember this one's name or number, but this one's another cool one to collect if you're like me and like to collect every single Astromech that exists. Even though I don't have every single one that exists, I still have some that I don't have, but they are so collectible. Anyway, back to the figures that I'm going through. Not the one, I'm not trying to flex, guys, promise, no. But here's another huge highlight. Really cool figures here. This is definitely one of the ones I'll look up for you guys at the end. And then, other than some regular battle droids, we've got a few of the, I can't remember which ones these are. Are these Star Pilots or something like that? I can't remember. These ones are jet droids of sorts, and then there's a captain one. I believe these are from Clone Wars, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got a handful of B2s, including this one. He shouldn't have 2 cannon arms, he should only have 1. So there's essentially 2, no, even 3, because there's another one right here. So there's like 3 cannon-armed B2s in here, and then 3 regular ones, which is awesome, because the cannon-armed ones are even, you know, essentially rarer and worth a little bit more, because I think they were in way less sets. We've got some commandos, assassins, and a bunch of regulars. And then we've got a pearl gold and then light pearl gold C-3PO. So that's that entire bag. Let me put one of the Magna Guards to the side. And then, you know, I'm gonna put the tauntaun to the side too, because I'll show you guys the value. That's always a fun one. And then we're gonna change it up from the Star Wars right into this grab bag, which has kind of an interesting array of stuff. We've got Rex from Toy Story. This is another one that I'll save for the side just to show you value. I don't think this one's worth a ton, but it's just such a notable character. I think I'm gonna keep this one this time around. I think I sold one of these before, but these figures are, you know, going to become harder and harder to come by. You can see he's got some damage on his legs, but look how long those legs are. It's crazy. They just don't make stuff like this, you know, consistently. I think these were the only kind of legs that these were ever put in, was these Toy Story figures. So kind of interesting. I don't think they're worth a ton, but this is a figure that I'm definitely going to keep because he actually has his plug, which is a separate piece. It's kind of hard to pull out with the way his legs are all around, but this plug is actually on its own worth about $8, I believe. So this is a very like interesting figure because most of the time you don't find the plug. It's just a piece that, you know, for whatever reason, it always goes missing, and it just completes the figure, and it's worth a lot because it's so easy to lose and it's such a specific piece. It's a one-of-a-kind piece. Next, we've got, I can't remember which version of the Hulk this is. I want to say this is like Avengers Hulk, but, oh, bottom of my camera. Other than that, we've got, oh, look at this. We've got 3 boxing guys, then a kind of a ragtag mix, Ninjago, some DC, nothing too crazy, Captain Jack Sparrow. I can't remember. I think this guy's worth a little bit more. He's from Pirates of the Caribbean as well. And then this is Magneto, but he's got, I noticed this before. It's Wolva Magneto, because it's Wolverine's head on there with Magneto's body and helmet. So I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, I don't control what I receive in these used hauls. They're not always perfect. Little clown, oh god, that's actually kind of scary. But yeah, not a ton to go through there. We got a Captain Marvel I just saw there as well. Let's get to another Star Wars one, because I know everybody loves Star Wars. So let's get into this. Now, right off the bat, this one has a lot of Rebel Fleet troopers. I think 4 of them. Their helmets always fall off because they're so large. They just they clip onto everything. 4 of those. A bunch of different X-Wing pilots of different sorts. Nothing too special there. Nothing too rare. Back to Tank Luke. We got a Mace Windu. This is actually one that I'm going to go through at the end. Then this is not Mace Windu. We were joking in a live when I went through this haul originally because we were like, this is post-fall Mace Windu, which is kind of funny and messed up at the same time, but still hilarious. Oh, this guy, Rota, I think is his name. He is on average, I'll show you at the end anyway, but I think he's like $15 just for this little 1x1 guy. Yeah, pretty insane. And then we've got Chewbacca and his younger brothers. The Ewoks, where's the second one? There it is. Some Ewoks, and then again, nothing crazy other than the Ahsoka, but the problem is her face is super scuffed up. So, oh, then we got Count Dooku, Leia, Jar Jar. There's some other notable figures for sure, but I can't spend too long on each individual figure. Or I guess I could. Maybe you guys want me to do super long, drawn out figure by figure haul videos? I don't know. I don't want to spend that much time going through each of these hauls. I like giving info, but that would be like an hour-long video, if not more, if I was showing like value of every single one of these. Here's a good mix of just kind of randomness. I don't think there's any one theme highlighted here, so I'll just kind of go and show you a little bit. Got one notable thing, I guess, is Scales there. And then I can't remember what Scales' little henchman slash left-hand man guy. He looks just like Scales, but obviously he's got a different print on him. So I don't know what his name is, but he's kind of notable. Other than that, we've got another Jack Sparrow, this cool king, which I think is from a CMF, but I'm not 100% sure. And then we've got the cool Royal Guard, pretty cool armored Batman, and then the rest of it is kind of not really noteworthy, other than the Dr. Hibbert, which I will be keeping, unless I already have him, which I don't remember. I can never keep track of which Star Wars figures I ever have. Then I'm gonna save the Clone Troopers for last, and we are gonna get right into the Harry Potter, because it's not a lot, so you don't have to wait too much longer for the Star Wars. So just hang out for just a moment, because these I can go through pretty quick. We got a couple of Death Eaters, or not Death Eaters, I'm sorry, Dementors. Yeah, there we go. Dementors, not Death Eaters. And then we've got Beatrix, Quidditch coach, can't remember her name to be honest with you. Double Hagrid, Professor McGonagall, Night Bus Driver, Ron's mom, can't remember her name right now. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Harry, Dumbledore, Dobby. Really creepy eyes. Look at that, staring into your soul. And then we've got the, shoot, can't remember his name now. And another little Harry. See, I told you that bag was gonna be quick. And then just for fun, we gotta take a figure out of here to go through at the end to do a price check essentially. So let's do Dobby. And the last bag that I know everybody wants to see, it's full of clones and stormtroopers. So here, there's not a ton of, I mean, there's a decent amount of variety, but a lot of it is, you know, duplicate figures, which is great because a lot of people like to buy clones and duplicate. Shocking. But anyway, so we've got what, 6 bomb squads there. Let's see how many Senate Commandos we got. We got 1 Senate Commando captain, and then what, 4 regular Senates? That's what it looks like there. So there's the captain. He's got like the white highlights and then the non-captain one. So this is supposed to be gray, but we've got him in black armor instead. We actually did this on live. He didn't have all the armor he needed, and I don't have the gray ones to replace it. So here we have blacked out Cody, and I'll probably list this one as a custom figure. I'll take pictures of it and everything, and it'll be listed on my Bricklink as well. Then we've got a Jet Stormtrooper here, which is kind of cool. We've got a Shock Trooper, a few different Kashyyyk Troopers, and then you've kind of got your, I don't remember how many of them there are each, because also now all their helmets are falling off and flying all over the place. But I do have a substantial amount of clones. Specifically the older style phase ones, so the ones that have the slightly less detailed helmet, and then this body. But other than that, there's a lot of these old style Stormtroopers with the blue dots on the side, or the blue vents. But I think this is the Lieutenant, which I have, so that'll get listed on my Bricklink store. But other than that, everything else in this pile is other similar clones. We've got a sand green clone here, so that's actually different. 2 sand green clones, so that's a different variety, I guess. And then, we've got a gunner, and then there's a few snow troopers, I believe, worked in as well. But other than that, again, I think that's everything other than, you know, me going through each duplicate. Let's go to Bricklink. And here we are. So the first figure I'd like to look up is that Rota. I believe that's how you say it. Got him right here, and I actually didn't know before I looked this figure up that his arms actually come off. They're actually separate pieces, which I didn't know. I thought it was all one piece and his arms didn't even move. Here's the figure here, and when you want to know what a figure is worth, so these are all listed prices. What you want to do is look right here at the view price guide, and that's going to take you to this page, which has not only the current items listed for sale, but the last 6 months sales average, which are actual sales. So right here, you will see month by month in the used and the new section. You will see every month breakdown. Here's May's info, here's April's info, and so on and so forth. So you can see each month it's having, you know, this is a sale, this is a sale, this is a sale. Each one of these lines is a sale. So it ranged from going for $6.25, which maybe it was missing an arm, or maybe it was in really bad condition, it got chewed on, who knows. But then on the upper end, one sold for like $13 that month. And then when you go to the top, it will actually give you the average price right there in the middle. $13.19 this figure is being sold for on average. Now you got to think, okay, so the average price is a solid, you know, that's what the value is. And yes and no. That's a good place to start. And again, if yours has damage, it would be somewhere under that. If yours is in like really good condition, maybe you can ask a little more, or it just depends on the situation, the size of your store. There's a lot of different factors that could go into pricing above or below the average price. But the average price is a great place to start. And then you can also see the max price was $21. So you can see what the most is that someone has paid for this, whether it was, you know, someone in this case right here, $20.99, that happened in the US. When it has this little squiggly line, usually that means it was sold or bought in another country. So what you want to do, or it could do, is group by currency. And now when you click that button, now this is all just US sales. So if you want to just go by the US, then you could do that as well. And then you can see, I think the average is a little lower if you go by US. So yeah, if you go by worldwide, it's going for $13.19 on average. And then if you go in the US, it's going for $11.63 on average. So take that as you will. There's a lot of in-between and gray area when it comes to pricing minifigures. You know, there's no one website out there that's gonna say this figure is worth exactly $7.69 or something like that. You know, it's gonna range, and there's gonna be people willing to pay different prices at different times. All right, next up we've got ham, and like I said, if you look closely, this is another tool you can use on Bricklink to your advantage if you're, you know, new to Lego or new to Bricklink in general. This is a great tool and great thing to use to identify and look further into figures. Look for the item consists of, and you will see that this figure, just like I said, consists of 2 items, one of them being the plug on the bottom, which it actually does picture here. So this is just this part, and then it shows it on the side what it looks like without the plug, because it's just showing that it's listing this part here, because we're looking at the parts list for this figure. Then the other part for this figure is the medium nougat plug, which for some reason has a picture of it, which makes it look like it's a different color, but this is a digital image and this is an actual image. So that's actually the same medium nougat you're seeing listed. And like I said, this piece alone is going for $8.95 on average. And yes, they are selling 15 of them sold in the last 6 months in used condition, and 9 of them sold in the last 6 months in new condition. And yes, new stuff like that does get sold. Some people do keep sealed stuff like that for a long amount of time. And then the average price for the whole figure is $13.99. Next up, we got the Tauntaun, which technically isn't a figure. So this is how it's spelled. It's one word, Tauntaun, if you didn't know. And that's how you search it on Bricklink. And it is actually a part that consists of other parts. So, and the other thing is we've got 2 different listings here, and I'm gonna show you the difference. It's kind of hard to show you. I guess I can show you on camera, but basically I'll show you there's 2 different versions here. We've got one with the rigid tail, and what that means is it's like a firm plastic. And then we've got this one with flexible tail, and obviously that one's a little bit obvious, at least it should be. It has this I guess actually shows a picture by picture difference. But right here on the flexible tail, so right here is where it goes from hard plastic to like a rubber mold. And so this is dual molded. And right about here, it gets not super flexible, but you can wag the tail just a little bit. And then on the version we have, which is the hard tail, is I think it's still a dual mold, but it's hard all the way throughout. Giggity. And this figure, quote unquote, I think it should be classified as a figure, to be honest. $9 on average. And then next, it's Rex, but not Captain Rex, Dinosaur Toy Rex, or Toy Story Rex. So here is the Rex figure right here. He's not worth a ton. This is a figure that's $8.20 on average, which is not super, I thought it would be higher, to be honest, for being such a large, iconic figure and being a larger mold. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Now this is a huge fan favorite, the Magna Guard. $15 is pretty steep, but I mean, it is rare. It is an amazing mold, and then the cape is amazing as well. So I mean, it's very accurate. So I think it's very nicely priced, but some people might find that expensive for just a droid like that. But there's a lot of uniqueness to it. Then we've got the Clone Wars Mace Windu. I guess he is. I didn't realize that it was the Clone Wars version. So we've got, he's only worth $5, $4 or $5, depending on his condition. That's actually kind of unexpected. I thought he'd, you know, most Mace Windus are worth a little bit more, but maybe this one was more common. Let's see. This is another tool you can use when you're getting used to Bricklink, is looking at this spot right here. Another part that's very powerful is the items appears in. So you can look at the 3 sets that this figure came in, which was this little thing, this Jedi Starfighter, and this Republic Attack Shuttle. So these 3 sets, it came in 3 different sets, which is probably why he's not worth as much, because he also came in a gear, which is, looks like a minifigure set, basically. I don't know. So he basically came in 4 sets, which made him more available, which will drive down the price a little bit overall. All right, this is another one that people really like, and you know, for good reason. It's a really cool Trooper and Lego figure. We've got the Kashyyyk Elite Trooper, and he is average of $8.20. All the way up to, looks like he had an $11 sale this month as well. Another thing about the used prices is generally if it's in new condition, that was probably one that was in really good condition. I would imagine very close to what a new one would sell for. So the new ones are selling for $10.67 on average. Ones that are basically right out of a sealed box. So some people, if the, you know, maybe there's none of these available at the time, no new ones for a good price. Maybe they're all like 17 bucks or something. And at the time, there's a used one listed that's $11, which is a lot for this average. You know, it seems like it's $3 over the average, but if it's in near perfect condition, you know, why not pay basically the average price for a brand new one for what is essentially a brand new used one, assuming it is as good condition as the person may say it is. So it's a little bit of a throw up, whether you want to wait and hang around for this average price, which may not ever happen. You know, it might get swooped up very quickly. So it just depends on what people are willing to pay at a certain time that determines the price of a minifigure. And I was right. This is the Avengers Hulk, and he's not worth. Okay, there's just one. Why is that one only listed for $4? In poor condition, and it's from Russia. So I'm guessing it's in really poor condition, because $4 is pretty cheap, but shipping's gonna run you all the way up to like what a regular one would cost. So this figure on average $15, and then you can see last month like 18, 19, 20, and then a new one goes for 24. So if you have a better condition one, obviously, you know, It's not going to be common, but look right there. There is one in the US that sold for $25 used. It does happen. Now we've got Dobby. I believe it's this version. Yes, it is this version. So this Dobby is worth $4.50 on average. Not a ton, but it was just another example I wanted to show you guys. And look, that means I sold it. I sold mine for $6.75, which was over average, obviously, but you can see on average for a brand new one, they're going for $13.38 if you want one that's in perfect condition, basically. And mine, I want to say, was in just like the one I have in my hand right now from this haul. The printing on the eyes is really good. It's not worn off at all. So justifying it being $6.75 is $2.25 over the average. But that's still not even, it's barely halfway to what a brand new one sells on average. So again, you can kind of go back and look and see, yes, the average is $4.50, but there's a lot of outliers. There was 2 of them that sold for $2.50. A lot of them are selling for a lot less, maybe because this one has this one's probably a lot more prone to defects because of the head being a rubber material and having the eyes being able to rub off. A lot of these sales for lower prices are probably very poor condition ones. So you got to be able to look into the insight of why things are priced in the used section. You can't just look at it so black and white. Like, oh, this figure, well, that one sold for $2.50 and that one sold for $7, so that one must be overpriced. Well, you got to realize this, if you could go back and look at the descriptions on these, I almost guarantee you they're not in good condition. Next, we've got the Jessie minifigure, which is without the dirt stains, it looks like. Gosh, this is a creepy looking minifigure. On average, it's going for $8.95, and most of, not the reason, I mean, it's collectible in general because it's from Toy Story, but these long legs, man, they're so weird. They only go for $2 on average, but still, they're just so weird because of how long they are. All right, the last one's gonna be Cody, but before that, I've got the one with the printed legs. This one just comes out of a different set. So the Clone Trooper Lieutenant with printed legs, because these legs actually on their own, these legs, they don't look like much. They look like kind of like regular Stormtrooper legs. You're wrong. They come in a lot of figures, but as you can see, legs, these are just for the legs, an average of $5.78, guys. People are paying $8.50, $9. I think I even sold some of these. Yeah, I even sold one for $9.75, and then some, looks like I sold some also. See, look again, when I have some in poor condition, that just goes to show. These legs, they have an average price of $5.78. Here, I sold them over average because they were in good condition. Here, look, because I sold 2 here, these were probably in less than good condition. They probably had maybe a scratch, maybe it was loose, whatever it was. I don't remember at the time. You can't look at the description now. But that just goes to show that depending on the condition, it's going to affect the price above or below that average, because new ones are going for $9.62. So the fact that these were probably, again, look at someone spent almost $16 on a pair of these legs. Now that's a little much, but the fact that these were probably in great condition is the reason it was closer to the average new instead of the average used. But how much is he worth overall? $21.11 is what you see. This is these squiggly lines again. These are all overseas, so we can group by currency and see what he's selling for in the US, which is actually higher. $22.01. He sold for $20 last month. $24, between $13 and $30. Between $15 and $30. I sold mine a couple months ago for $23. I had one listed. So that was only $1 over average. That's not even that much. And he was in great condition. I remember that actually. So it just depends. Price varies a lot with Lego minifigures. It has a window, obviously, but it depending on condition and seller and availability, it's a large window sometimes. You can see the minimum price was $8. The maximum price was $35, so it's not very consistent. Even with new ones, you've got $20 on the minimum and $50. It's a $30 range, and this one's I guess that's an even bigger range on the new end, because this is only like a $27 range. Let's get on to Cody, shall we? So I guess, I mean, mine has all the black armor on it because I kind of made them custom. So we can kind of compare. See, this minifigure is going from anywhere from $28 to $40 on the used end, and then $37 to $50 on the new end, which is insane. Okay, I hope that was helpful, or at the very least interesting. I haven't bought a lot of Lego hauls lately, so you haven't seen a lot of Goodwill boxes or anything. I haven't actually been able to obtain one. I keep forgetting on Fridays to try to buy one, but they've actually upped their price if you haven't noticed. They went from like 50 to like 55, and now they're 60 plus shipping, so it's going up, which it's kind of a risk. It increases the risk factor, which I'm still going to try to buy them, but I haven't been able to get my hands on them. So for now, I'm going to be doing other sorts of content instead of just, quote unquote mystery hauls. I will still be buying Lego, but for the most part, my content is going to evolve now because I want to do other stuff. And now that I don't have as many weekly mystery hauls to go through, I definitely want to expand my horizons and do some different stuff. So I can't wait to do that. Have a great day, guys.